he eloquently explained the Canadian healthcare system and how it really works, as opposed to the mistaken beliefs we are hearing all too often. Back in 1993, Nigel needed some backup singers for a recording session, and so he asked the lovely Studebakers to back him up, and they have been together ever since. And a couple of years later, the Studebakers played for an engagement party in Jill's backyard. It was an engagement for her brother John and me. The twins, Duncan and Garrett, were 3 years old then, and they danced around in some blur of blonde energy. And 2 years after that, Nigel met some bass player named Randy at Flipnotics and invited him to play with the Studebakers at their next gig. Randy stuck with them too, and eventually married Becky. Maybe Nigel's magnetic personality rubbed off on the two of them. When the Studebakers recorded CDs, Nigel was rather a harsh taskmaster. Not only did he play multiple instruments and write some of the songs, but he insisted that they try over and over again to get just the right sound. They are going to miss him more than words can tell, and all of the other bands who've played with him. 4 years ago, Max and some friends, including Cheryl, started a bakery jam in South Austin. Just for jamming, not for performances. Because after all, our motto is, we're all good at something else. Nigel showed up at the second jam and played with us whenever he could. Joe and Cheryl, who's played beautifully on the piano, met at Nigel's birthday jam, and now they are happily married. Another couple who met through Nigel. Perhaps there are other stories like that. Cheryl shared with me a game that Nigel liked to play. She learned it from their mutual friend Anne. He called her Princess Anne. One night, the women were goofing around and teasing and asking each other weird questions, and Anne said, "Let's call Nigel. He knows everything." And so they called him up, and he said, "Sure, ask me anything. I know everything." And it was true. They opened this huge, unabridged dictionary that was about 5 inches thick and found the most obscure word they could find. And they named it to him, and he defined it without any hesitation. And over again, they would play that game, and he would know what those words meant. You could name a city, and he would probably know not only where it is in the world, but what bodies of water surrounded that country. Nigel was smart and funny and confident, but he was also humble. But the only thing he didn't like was to sleep. "Waste of time," he declared. He would tell close friends to call him anytime. And when they did, he would answer the phone with a joke, already wide awake.